The university system has never been more criminal. As a child, I was a victim of kidnapping, torture, and terror. A Manson ordeal, which came to light in a script written by a gang, including an individual named Mancine, who were working with Warhol Museum. But instead of investigating my injuries, helping me, the security officer for a doctor who tried to document my injuries was gunned down, and the university system took me prisoner to the claim that secret truths were hidden in research to be ferreted out by private linguistic anthropologists. They extended this terrible crime into a series of Holocaust simulation experiments using virginity as a final solution to the politics they had created. They walked me and lured me and battered me, station by station, through being gassed, used for the AIDS attack in a demonstration project on Mount Desert Island. And finally, they brought me to dispatch at Code Red College in Tacoma, where the Green Forces of Jay Inslee launched the COVID bomb with Trump, a ringmaster of what he construed as an adventure, killing several Kennedys and taking my art by confiscation, which is a primary mission of their pretenses. Due to the atmosphere of cruel sadism mongered by university sociopaths, my testimony is scattered throughout a difficult-to-read blog online that episodically disappears when I can't meet monthly payments. I'm making some attempt to put together the basic information into a small booklet. The injuries were always conspicuous. I am deaf, and my facial nerve has come to tremble. I am soft-spoken and not very vain, yet peer goblins are constantly backbiting my name and making sport of my so-called reputation. All of these are conspicuous injuries. Less conspicuous has been the rape of my deaf advocate to punish her for teaching me sign language, allowing me to return to school. Less conspicuous was the murder of two more of the Kennedy family after one of them wrote to me about Circe, who I believe was a victim of a poison crime, as I have been poisoned in my heart, my loins, my mouth, and so on. The attempts to frame me as inciting mischief circumvent that I was a Kennedy child, my father a human rights author. And acid was poured on my face, just as they threatened to pour acid on the children of the Kennedy family. When I was attacked as a child, it was blindside. I weighed only 98 pounds. The kidnappers stole cars and forced me into them, taking me to places like a castle called King's Estate in Pittsburgh, where I was gassed horribly with a poor man's ether that left me deaf. I was beaten and beaten and beaten piteously. Each day I would come home and find a love letter from a kibbutz in Israel, written by the friend of a local magistrate's daughter. The men had names like Pitman, Casper, Szynski, and Mancini. And there was a Donald or two. When I took to hiding in my house on the top shelf of our towel closet, the university distinguished itself by shouting at me, "Don't say like Anne Frank." I lapsed into coma and traumatic amnesia with a deeply impacted head wound and neurotrauma, like a ball of wax they'd implanted for linguistic neurology. The university system cackled at me so loudly, so much, and for so long, that my writing became, to quote Baruch Fishoff, a friend of Granger Morgan, disaggregated. It was a cruel aside, since the trend on the streets of Pittsburgh, where I was deaf and impoverished, and nobody to teach me sign language, in the poetry vein, was called psychobabble and word salad. I tried absolutely everything to get help. It only brought down on me pervert spy cams and attack prostitution. I was lured to Mount Desert Island in a two virgins war game fight club clocked by the Warhol to the AIDS attack with the help of Salk labor. The more obvious this became, the more shrill the police laws became too, impugning me as a criminal. A deaf girl who saw the laws for what they were taught me sign language. Her name was Chen. She was attacked and punished. When a doctor documented the injury to my eyes from the terrible beatings, his name was Chen. Their friend, a volunteer cop who befriended me, was gunned down. His name was also Chen. The gang that did it set upon Circe Kennedy and killed her, professing revenge. It made a mockery of me through the University Psychological Prediction Services because I had penned a eulogy comparing Mr. Chen to Bobby. Their top sacred key doctrine, Rainbow Insight, repudiated me total.